Y'all ain't gonna believe this. I don't have all the right fittings. Again, hardware store trip. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm gonna be working on the plumbing here at our Fixer Upper. I've already gotten, as you can see, the water heater and the pressure tank relocated. The pressure tank was right on the other side of this new wall. It's hooked up right there to the main line coming through the foundation from the well. That was the electrical. I have it looped up around and then through that metal conduit to the capacitor, and then have it rewired to the switch, and the water will hook up there. We'd like to, if I can step through this wall, we'd like to frame this out. This will be a bedroom over here with 2x4 wall. So this is about 6 inches sticking out from the foundation right now. I'd like to cut this off, re-thread it, put a 90-degree turn so it can run up the wall, then over and back down inside of this wall and hook up right there. So I think that'll give a nice clean look and hide that main line. Step back through this wall, and then I just have the pressure tank right here hooked back up. Have a T there to go to the water heater, and then the other side of the T is going to hook up to the main existing lines of the house. So this is actually my first time working with plumbing. It's pretty intuitive. I say that hoping to not make any catastrophic mistakes. But this PEX pipe is actually pretty easy to work with. It's a flexible pipe, has the advantage therefore over the other types of pipe, steel, galvanized steel or copper, in that it's flexible. PVC would be another line that is not flexible. It's also freeze resistant, which is an that's an advantage over PVC. Not that it won't freeze, but if it does freeze, it has more give. It's more flexible. It won't crack as easily as PVC would. The fittings are pretty easy to work with. You just slide the end of the PEX over the fitting and clamp it down. You crimp it with this tool, and that's about it. You just have to follow the flow of water. Wanted to show you the pipe that we've been removing. Sorry, here we go. So this is galvanized steel pipe. It was commonly used decades ago, but it fell out of favor for a couple reasons. One, you have to thread all of the fittings together, so you have to cut all of your lengths pretty accurately. And then when you have to make a turn, of course, you have to put a fitting on there with threading there and there. So it just makes the whole process take a lot longer than this type, this PEX, for sure, because it doesn't have to be exact. It bends, it forgives. You can run it, you know, right here. I just ran it right next to the main sewer line. It's not heavy. I did put a few, if I can find one, a few anchors in, like right there. It just nails in to the ceiling joist, just to keep it from wobbling too much. But just so much easier than this would be. Even copper, I've never worked with copper, but you do have to cut it pretty close to the exact length, and you have to solder, or what they call sweat, the fittings together. Another disadvantage of this galvanized steel pipe, if you can see in there, it looks rusty, and it is. It's rusted inside the pipe. That galvanized coating that had been inside has worn off. The slight caustic nature of water, whether it's acidic, etc., can wear that down over time. The risk is if your water is too caustic, you can actually make these rust from the inside out to the extent that the pipe actually fails and you have a major water leak on your hands or on your feet. Get it? These actually don't look too bad. There's just some minor surface rust in there. So I don't think these are really at risk for, put this back down. I don't think these ones were really at risk for rupturing, but that deterioration inside your pipes, as it goes on, it floats downstream and ends up in your fittings, like in your shutoff valves. It makes them fail. Ends up in the screens, like in your sinks, where the aerator is attached to where the water comes out. It just gets those clogged up and slows down your water flow. Appliances, dishwasher, refrigerator, washing machine, just all that debris gets stuck. So galvanized pipes have really fallen out of favor. Another disadvantage is where all of those fittings screw together, you just have the potential for a leak. So for example, now if I were to have done this in a galvanized pipe, I would have had a T there, then I probably would have needed to put an elbow there, turn, and then another elbow to turn down, then go down to the water heater. So that would have been at least 2 extra connections just in this 3-foot section of plumbing, where you have a potential for leak. So suffice it to say, I'm a big fan of PEX, even though I've never really worked with the others. All the plumbers I've spoken to are also big fans. So big thumbs up to PEX. I'm going to get some more work done, and once we get our upstairs master bath vanity put in, we'll actually be able to turn the water back on in the house and check for leaks. I'm back from another trip to the hardware store. One thing I've learned about plumbing so far in my short career is when you think you have enough and all the right fittings, you don't. So up here in what used to be the master bathroom, where the toilet used to be, and this is where the water supply is. I've already loosened this pipe. I'm going to take it out and actually just put a plug in where that water comes through. Just a galvanized steel 1/2-inch plug, because I won't be deleting all of that pipe, but I do want to be able to turn the water back on. This is called pipe thread sealant, but I've heard most people refer to it as pipe dope. You can use that in place of the Teflon tape. A lot of people prefer it, and since I hope to never have issues under all the new flooring we put in, I'm trying to do it as best as I know how. So hopefully that works well. Let's get started on this. Okay, so a 17mm socket is going to fit over the end of that male plug. That'll let me get down into the hole with this socket wrench. This stuff is dope. I'm probably using more than I need. I really don't want it to leak. One of the worst things about this stuff is it really sticks to your fingers. Alright, let's hope I don't drop it into the dark unknown. Let's hope it fits too. It's hard to tell if it's cross-threaded because the pipe actually doesn't line up perfectly with the hole in the subfloor. Well, unfortunately, I think the only way I'm going to know if that really worked is by checking for leaks once we turn the water back on. Because it is hard to tell if it's cross-threaded. I don't think it is, because I don't think it would have gone on that far if it had been cross-threaded. Those are pretty husky threads. But we'll see. I think I'm going to be saying that a lot with the plumbing in this house. We'll see. That may never come out, and I'm okay with that. I am one fitting or one clamp short. Got that pinch clamp right there, but I need one to connect that little piece I'm going to put right there. Actually, I'm too short, but it's going to turn out okay because I got to thinking that I need to split that cold and that hot, run them over along this wall for the wash machine that's going to be here. So that's going to take several more clamps anyway. And then I need the special water shut-off valves where the wash machine hoses screw onto. So I need to pick those up, some more clamps. I try to make lists before I go, I really do. And I check off my lists. Then I get here and I find out things that should have been on the list. So, time for lunch, trip to Springfield. Just hooking up the water supply for where the washing machine is going to be. I'd like to get a little bit more secure than this. So I bought these hose straps. Real simple. But I need to screw them to the concrete. So I'm going to drill a pilot hole first for the screws. A lot of cordless drills have a setting on them. Mine, if I go over here to the one that looks like a hammer, you won't believe this, but then it's called a hammer drill. And it still spins like a drill, but it has an in and out, real fast vibrating motion. So it helps to chip away little pieces of the concrete as it goes in. There are special bits that you use for masonry. I bought a cheap set of bits a long time ago and Apparently they're not good for metal. I was working on an old Camaro, drilling through the floor pan with my masonry bits. So this one is quite a bit shorter than it used to be, but we'll see how it does. That should do. See if this spare screw I found fits in there. That may just work. Let me drill the other one. All right. Flathead screws. I hate flathead screws. But it's what I found on the floor, and I think it'll work. I hate flathead screws, and apparently that one wasn't very strong. Man, see what happens to the other one. Well, that boogers up my hole. I'm 0 for 2 on these screws. It's alright, we'll make it work. Well, the first drill bit made a hole that was too small for the screw, so there's too much torque getting put on it as I tried to put it in, and it snapped the head off the screw. So I had a little bit bigger drill bit. Went from 1/8 up to 5/32. So 1/8 is 4/32. So 5/32. I went up by 1/32 of an inch. Now the hole's too big, so the screw doesn't have anything to bite onto. So I'm going to try just taking a little piece of plastic, going around the end of the screw, and try to make that hole tighter. Where did I put that? There it is. I'm pretty sure this is to code to shim your screw with a piece of plastic. Well, it doesn't pull out. Went in pretty easy, but yeah, I think that's okay. I think I'm going to have to shim it this a little bit more. I've seen people use paper. That would probably work better. But now I'm just curious. suppose if anything gets packed tight enough in there, it'll wedge. That's better. Definitely better. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Now I'm going to repeat that right here once I find some more screws. Alright guys, that'll do it for today. Now that I finally had all the right fittings, I was able to finish what I set out to do today. I think it turned out nicely. Should work at least. We've got a lot more plumbing to do. I'll keep showing you what I learn and what we accomplish. Have a good rest of your day.